So I just want to show you guys a couple of things to do with the clicker retrieve. One, and I'm going to show you them kind of mixed together at the same time, which is a little non-ideal, because they're two different things really, but I'm going to have to show you them mixed together because of just what's happening with Moi at the moment. So the first thing is the idea of the dog not dropping when they're showing the food. So the idea there is that the dog has the object in its mouth and we show the dog food. When the dog sees food, at first they'll spit out the object because they want to eat your food. But if you haven't clicked, they shouldn't be spitting out the object. So that's the thing that you need to teach them, is hold the item until you hear a click. Even if there's food on your nose, even if there's food on the floor, even if there's a distraction, whatever, just keep holding it. So that's the first thing that I'm going to be showing you. And the second thing I'm going to be showing you alongside of all of that is the way in which the food and the showing the dog the food has a lucky second effect, if you like, which is to help the dog focus on something which makes their mouth still. So if they're mouthing something and they're chomping something and it's going round and round in the mouth, when you show them food, it gives them an external focus and that distracts them from what they're doing with their mouth, and their mouth tends to go still, and then that gives you an opportunity to click the still mouth. So there's two different things I'm going to be showing you. You can't do the second one, the showing the dog the food and waiting till the mouthing stops so that you can click, unless you have proofed your pick up and hold against food. So you can't, lure the dog around with food, holding the item, if the dog drops as soon as you put food on its nose. So the first thing you need to be working on is the dog keeping holding on the thing while it's looking at food. It's a bit difficult to show you how to do that with Moi because she's already done that quite a bit. She occasionally still drops when she sees the food, but not often. And the way that you would achieve that is you would start by clicking just a split second while the dog is holding the item and looking at the food, and gradually making it longer and longer. It's very important you don't click as the dog drops or once the dog's already started to drop, because then you're clicking the drop rather than the hold. So this can be a little bit tricky at first for dogs to get their heads around, but generally they pick it up quite fast. So what I'm going to use for my retrieve object here is this little blob of plastic. I don't even know what it is. I'm using this because Moi chews it quite a lot and it's a good object to show you that with. You can though be doing this with anything. So if you've got a dumbbell, you can be doing this with a dumbbell. If you're doing obedience or working trials, if you're doing gun dog work, you can be doing this with a dummy, amongst other things. The idea is if your dog's got a reliable retrieve, then they should be able to retrieve any item at all. It doesn't matter what it is. So with all that said and done, I'm going to click, hold the camera, deliver treats and film Moi all at the same time. Alright, so, whoops, I'm going to put this on the floor first. So her mouth was still there, I think, although it's difficult to tell because I'm looking through the camera at her. So you'll notice that I'm moving, I'm walking backwards, and I also have this load of treats in my hand. And the reason that I'm walking backwards is because walking, again, gives the dog something else to concentrate on. So you've got the food and you've got the movement. That was nice because she was holding it between her front teeth, which is especially nice. Let's try that again. Because front teeth are not where the chewing happens. These happen between the back teeth. Good. So you see her mouth's quite good at the moment. What I'm going to do is cut out some of the walking backwards stuff and see if she can, well, she's going to mouth again. So she wants to keep walking, but I'm going to stop. There you go, there's some mouthing happening. So I've not got any food and we've got no walking, and this is what happens. So here's some food. Now, at first, the food by itself may not be interesting enough to stop the mouthing. It is there though. Your dog may need to be showing the food more obviously. So your dog may need like a treat like this, or something tasty, right in front of their face. And if the mouthing doesn't stop, don't be in a rush to click. As long as you don't click, you're not rewarding it, you can just wait. Another thing you can do is lower it to the floor slowly. You'll see here she's gone, or still concentrating at it because she thinks that she's going to get it. So that's another thing, lowering the food towards the floor can also... Now, as soon as you cut out the moving, let me try again. As soon as you cut out the moving, it does get harder because you're removing one of the things that enables the dog to focus on something else apart from the food, which is the moving. But you can do looking backwards and forwards. So moving your head from side to side, following the feed. Whenever you're clicking for something that the dog is not doing, it's really hard because there are lots of other things the dog isn't doing as well. So the dog has to figure out which is the one thing that it's not doing, which is the reason why it's getting the click. So I think that's why it takes a little while for the dog to figure this one out, but they will eventually get there. Hope that helps. So what I'm showing you now is that she's still chewing even though the food is there. The solution to this is to make the feed even more tempting. So she's chomping, chomping, chomping. I'm not going to click now. But here I'm going to hold the food in a really more visible way. This is good because she's sitting. So